Unfortunately, that's not your employer's problem. When they plan, they don't think about that.
And that's fine. That's why I have decided personally to have my own boundaries. If I'm going to a net.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Nasiphelelo Duduma. Today I'm not alone. I'm with a dear friend and a sister of mine, Uvuyokazi. I'm gonna let her to introduce herself, but I'm still continuing on the topic of corporate ills. So many people have shown interest and commented quite a lot on the corporate ills. But she's one of the people that have shown interest, and I was like, would you like to come? And she was like, I'm keen, no problem. So this conversation started from those conversations. You guys are welcome, and thank you for saying yes to this request.
Thank you for having me. Yes, guys, I'm Uvuyokazi,
a sister of us in the Lord. So, if someone were to ask you in few words, what are corporate ills, what would you say?
So, I would define or describe corporate ills as mistreatment in the workplace, as well as discrimination. For various reasons. It could be your position in the company, your race, your gender, your religion. So it's just mistreatment and leads to toxicity and can result in you going through a lot.
Have you experienced any mistreatment of any nature, given the categories that we've mentioned?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have mistreatment. I think as a junior in the position that I was in.
Okay, interesting.
I was in a compromising situation. I think I was in a situation where I had to decide I'm either gonna obey God or possibly lose my job. Maybe I was being dramatic, but that's how I felt about the thing, because I was being asked by someone senior to me to do something I wasn't comfortable.
But was it work related?
Yeah, it was work related, but it was,
Was it not your scope?
What do you mean?
But was it part of the job requirements or job spec? Because being a junior, I feel like it's just a vulnerable position to be into, because you're like, I don't really know what am I supposed to do or who can give me. There's usually a clear line of reporting that this person is your line manager, is your supervisor, is your superior. You report, you ask him for things, but now you find that his colleague will ask you for something and all of that. I feel like as a junior, you just in a very vulnerable, compromised, sensitive position, and I don't think I think there is a way that is wise, that is godly, that is kind, that we're supposed to respond, but primarily to do the work. Primarily to do the work and not rebel. Yeah, do the work right and not rebel. But now I'm trying to think of situations where you feel like you are asked to do something that you're not supposed to do. Is it because it was out of your scope, out of what you expected to do, or you felt like they were using you? Because there's another thing about being a junior. Most juniors feel like someone said that is this you know. I don't think juniors are being made this because you're new in the position and they're putting you there in those different spaces so that you can grow, so that you can swim, so that you can grow those muscles and be able to be a full, wholesome professional. So where were you? Were you not a rebel in that situation?
No, I was not a rebel. Okay. Let me make an example about a career out of my career, right? Let's say you are a teacher. Okay. And you are in your first year of being a teacher, right? And then they tell you that, in this class we have 50 learners, 30 of them have failed. But can you please try and make 20 pass somewhere, somehow?
Oh, okay.
It's that type of thing where you are like, no ways, I can't do this. But then you're like, I'm a junior. If I fight this, like, who will I speak with? This person already has relationships in the school, and in me, I'm new, so you kind of feel like defeated, deflated. It's like, and on top of that, I'm a single mom. I'm like, okay, if I lose this job, what's gonna happen? But I was like, at the end of the day, we need to fear God more than we fear man.
And what did you do in that situation?
Yeah, so in that situation, as I know, it gave me anxiety. I couldn't sleep properly. And I was like, am I gonna do this thing that I'm being asked to do, or am I just gonna say no? And then I decided to I'm gonna say no because it wasn't sitting well with me. And I think that my senior could see that baby girl, she's really not pitching. So she ended up being like, no, it's fine, you can do it your way, you can do, and
the proper way.
The proper way. And that's how it ended. And we didn't have to even have an extensive conversation about it, which was my fear, because I was like, I'm gonna involve now other people, because at the end of the day, you can't be asking me to do something I'm not comfortable with.
Did it have like consequences? Did she treat you in a type of way?
Yeah, I think it did have consequences. It affected like my, your rating, how they rate your performance,
serious stuff.
Things. Yeah, but I was like, it is what it is.
Okay. So this is you being a junior, right?
Yeah.
And then now that you're in a more senior role, what corporate ills are you experiencing?
I think currently I don't experience much corporate ills. I think the corporate ills I notice is just certain races being, I experienced, not where I am now. Like certain races being promoted, being
biases at work.
At work, you have friends saying I'm working the same position as this person, but it doesn't look like we're getting the same pay. It doesn't look like, even though you're not allowed to speak about salaries and all those things.
And how do you feel about salaries being confidential? Do you think they're supposed to be confidential?
I feel like they shouldn't be confidential.
Why?
I feel like it's a way to basically endorse these corporate deals, because it's like I can feel like someone is getting paid more than I am, but we're doing the same job. But because we can't discuss it, it's like there's no way of confirming it. So I feel like it's a way to allow toxicity in the work environment, where you can clearly see we're doing the same job, but it's not giving the same pay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that that's a topic for another day. Isn't like, do you think that salaries at work in corporate they're supposed to be kept confidentially as they are currently? And I think I've randomly occasionally asked people about it. People have different views. Some they're like, yes, they're supposed to. Some they're like, no, they're not supposed to. Thinking about it, because I'm in the financial sector, right? I'm working for a financial service company where experience matter, right? Level of education matter, speciality, how technical are you in the job, all of those things are taken into consideration in order for you to be in a particular bracket. So chances are we can be doing videography, both of us, right? But you are maybe 10,000 difference from what I am. There can be that possibility. But also it depends as in what laws and regulations, remuneration related, labor laws related, that were applied initially when you were employed, and what is currently involved. So if we're gonna have the discussion, it's complex in a sense that we need to still go back there and like, remember when I entered the working space, this is what we were adhering to, this is what was there, and then now after these years, these are the changes. For that reason, it sounds a bit complex, but I feel like we can still have a conversation around, is it supposed to be confidential, yes or no? And guys, also in the comment section, just give us your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think salary is supposed to be confidential or not? I think there is a benefit to that. But also it has an So guys, we had a situation where we are talking and then the video is not visualizing. Where the video was not doing the things they were supposed to do. But yeah, it is what it is. We are here now. So we're still busy continuing with the corporate ills. I'm gonna ask of you guys, there's a lot of beautiful things that she said. One point that I found very, very interesting is that as she was growing to the knowledge of the Lord and maturing and even growing at work, right, she discovered that her approach was not always as polite, as kind, as Christ-like. So my question was that what has she learned from the particular experience? Because I know there are like fairly new believers or baby Christians, if you can say it like that, who are very new in their walk with the Lord, and they're zealous and very ambitious about being a Christian, all of that, to an extent where dealing with some particular issues that are worldly, the approach is not kind, is not Christ-like. So for her, what was her experience and what did she learn from that? So that was the question I posed.
Yes. And my answer was, in my growing as a child of God, I realized that being bold for Christ doesn't mean you need to be rude. There's a sense where you still need to show kindness to people. There's a sense in which you need to still treat people as people made in the image of God. Yes, they've not come to Christ, but you need to still be kind. Don't be extreme. Don't take boldness. I'm gonna be rude. I'm gonna tell them where to get off and all of that. And I think the other thing I said was, there was an instance where at work they asked me about homosexuality, and I was like, the first instinct is to be extreme and be like, Marongo, and all of that. But as I grow, I just was like, kindness is needed, because at the end of the day, these are people who are sinners. They're people whom God has not removed the blindness, of sin, and we need to just be kind and be loving. Yeah, but it takes time to get there.
That's helpful. Another point that I've mentioned, which is so dear to my heart, that everyone is an image bearer. We're made in the image of God, and that should be the primary reason why we respect people, not because of who they are, who they're associated with, what do they have, what do they study, how do they look like, and then it's more like you use all of those as a criteria to rank and to treat them the particular way. We're all supposed to respect everyone, not because of what they have or who they are, so on the basis that they made in the image of God. And you did bring that up, which was very, very helpful. If someone that struggled or struggles to treat people, or you struggle with partiality, it's like you want to see how they look and where they come from, and that's how you rank as in how you're going to treat certain people. I guess that's a sin to repent for, because you ought to respect everyone, being homosexual, being heterosexual, being whatever. That person is supposed to be respected because they made in the image of God. I remember I read an article. I was doing theological ethics that time, and the topic was about homosexuality. And this article mentioned that people that are sinful, they also ought to be respected because they made in the image of God. And one of the justification was that they're also tax collectors, tax contributors. They're also significant members of the economy, so they add value in different ways in this economy. So not because we struggle with that particular sin and then they should be treated like trash. I don't think God treats them like that, because God still provides oxygen for everyone. God still provides food for everyone, and we speak about common grace in those things, and we ought to extend that to other people as well. So I think as Christians we do fall short quite a lot in those particular things, but may the good Lord help us. I also have a lot of students that watch the channel and they watch previous videos and they're like, Miss Pello, this is so helpful, but it's like we don't relate as much to this particular content. But some of them, they're doing honors or they're doing finally and they're going out to the working world next year. What would you advise? Like, what would you give to them and be like, take this, put this in your archives, take this, put this in your arsenals and use it ngomhla ombi, komhlozayo. So what experiences can you give them and be like, if you have this, it's going to help you, and something that you wish you knew before you entered the work environment as a fresh grad or as a fresh post-grad? What are those things?
I think something I wish I had known, before getting into the workplaces, being a Christian, like, it doesn't switch off when I get to work. I need to be a Christian everywhere, including work. And I think the other thing I wish I had known is that the world is not like out there when you are going to Checkers and Mall of Africa. The corporate place, also is the world. And as the children of the Lord, guys, we're called to suffer in this world. We're called to be persecuted. So you will experience some discomfort, because at the end of the day, you are in the world. But in those discomforts, in those challenges, stay true to Christ. Prioritize Christ. Prioritize being the light and being the salt, and do it in a graceful and loving way, and being bold at times if you need to. I think the other thing is, speaking up doesn't mean you will automatically lose your job. I think when you are still young, you think, one mistake, they're gonna fire me. One mistake, they're gonna call the bosses, and I'm out of here. Whereas that's not the case. So do speak up if there are certain things that you're not comfortable with at work, but do it in a respectful way. Do it in a wise way. I remember in one of your videos you spoke about stepping away from the laptop, probably taking a walk, and then when you are sober you come back. Do those kind of things. Don't react. Don't be quick to react. But be sober, and be bold. And that's it. They won't fire you.
Yeah. Jesus is the it. Like, Jesus is the it. Yeah, and I feel like sometimes we take our biblical principles for granted. I remember there's a friend of mine, he was not Christian. He was very clear that I'm not Christian. But there's something that he said, which I'll forever take with me. He mentioned that if one applies biblical principles, they ought to be very successful. You can't be wealthy just by applying biblical principles, right? And Tina, we don't just say that because we read the Bible as the book of wisdom. We say that we read it because we believe it, and we read it because it's what governs our life, right? Back to your point, is like, be bold and speak up. The Lord is with you in that. It's not like, because sometimes I'm like, the dead with your bag, the dead guys I don't even have. But I'm not alone. I'm with the Lord. I guess when I start figure job, and I'm like, dance in a big one, guys, and then these things are happening. So I'm up and so God, I'm gonna lose my job. There's nothing like that. You can't lose your job just like that. Just one email or one argument. It takes a process for one to lose a job. And guys, just to reiterate that, I don't think that people, like employers, go to work to go make your job hell, your day hell. Things gonna happen. We're different. We're gonna rub each other the wrong way. Excuse me, but we have the guide. We have the manual as in how to live your life in those particular instances. So let's not break the. Don't be Christian in this environment and that one you're not. You're Christian in this environment, that one you're not. Because there's gonna be situations where you're like, I can manage it, I want to be Christian. But they're like, we thought you were not. We thought you were Christian like us. Another issue that came up in the previous video that disappeared is that sometimes we are the issue around the conversations at work, and if you don't make it clear, I think you alluded to an issue about like have boundaries. They must know that a Christian. Have asked what are the practical boundaries that you can have at work that will help them to know that you're a Christian. And the point that came out of that is that primarily just tell them you're Christian, or just make them aware that you're a Christian. And we're like, everyone believes that they're Christians, or majority of people will say that I'm a Christian as well. But now when we talk about lifestyle, or we see lifestyle, we don't see Christ likeness and the fear of the Lord in how the decisions are being made and all of that. What would you say about the boundaries at work?
So in terms of boundaries, I think I mentioned that you don't have to announce that I'm a Christian. But doing things like, if people are engaging in gossip and be like, guys, I got not to be rude, but I don't want to engage, in this conversation. Respectfully, just not engaging in those things. I think putting your boundaries to say, okay, when they're saying we're going in such a so-and-so place, for instance, my colleagues liked on a Friday to go to a club or a place where people are drinking, and they're like, no, it's not like you will be drinking. I'm like, I won't be drinking, but this is going to affect my witness. Someone might see me there, and then when I share the gospel, they're going to be like, "Ay, baby girl, we're now, Sikrova now, where we do all these things." now. I also mentioned that at work, leave out your Christianity. When people are lazing around, continue and do your work. When people are not working wholeheartedly, put in, all your heart, because you're doing it for the glory of God. And trust me, when you are different at work, people will come to you and ask, Uti, why are you so, why are you so different? I even mentioned the story about my colleague who came to me and was like, Vero, you are so different, the way you approach work, your work ethic is so good. Why are you the way you are? And that was like a gospel opportunity to say, it's not me, it's the Christ in me, it's my faith. So yeah, be that Christian that you are at work, and put in boundaries. Things like Bible study. If they like, we're gonna work overtime, I'm like, guys, I will get here at 7, before everyone else. I'll do my work, but at 6 I'm leaving. I need to be at Bible study. So be bold, because other people are also bold when it comes to their religions. They praying or one, and when it's one, best believe they will leave and go pray. And I think as Christians, Tina, we are always lacking in those kind of environments. But now we'll be bold and say, guys, it's 6 o'clock, I'm going, it's Bible study time. And I was a junior at that time. I remember one person was like they set me on the side and were like, if you do such things, it might affect your rating or your performance. But I'm like, shouldn't I be rated based on my work? The work has been done. I was here early, but now I need to leave. I need to be at Bible study, and yeah, but do it in a respectful way. Don't compromise. Let God be the goal, and just trust Him in the process.
Let Jesus be Jesus. Yeah. If I look back, I mean, there were times where I think I've done both, where I was the girl, like, working hard to diligent, all of that. And there was a time where I was this girl who's lazy, who's slothful, who's not like Christ, And this conversation is very convicting, because I'm like, why do you do that? Why doing that? Also, if you feel like sometimes you are slack and now you're slothful, it does not honor the Lord. And it's such a, like, in the year to Evangela, you want evangelical field, like when you're there, emsebenzini, God placed you there for a reason. Bengashodanga abantu bangababeka, like bengashodanga abantu, God knew uba uza place apart for a reason, for you to be the light, for you to be the soul, for you to glorify Him, And I think it's easy to just be on those unnecessary gossip talks and all of that, and the world will consume you if you open that door of entertaining such ungodly talks. The world will be like, saying what? Was again, mama? And they tell me, like, guys, this uncomfortable, don't like, but you used to laugh at this, you used to entertain it. So may the good Lord help us in those things, because, well, I don't think it's easy for some of us. But what we're learning from this conversation is that let Jesus be Jesus. Let Him not be Jesus, the church pela, but also when you go out there, even if you're going to a mall, even if you're at work, how you talk, how you eat, how you eat, even like, hey, food is another one, like, guys, no, I feel like I'm adding 2 things that's gonna eat, like oil and water. But the episodes, I don't know, but I think we just see people that loves to eat. Every now and then there's pizza, there's always food, like there's always food everywhere. But I'm like, obviously a group of people would go, right, and then I'm not gonna stand up while everyone is there, because I'm like, you're gonna take and leave. So this is the day they were like pizza everywhere. I'm like, okay, fine, they're going, I'm gonna go after them. Where was the pizza? How do you take 5 or 6? And I'm like, guys, no. And among those people, they're also Christians. No, we ought to behave, even in those small things, small intricacies, we ought to behave in a way that honors the Lord. I'm like, how do you take 5, 6? That one, that time, the other person hasn't even had a single slice. Sure. And I'm like, no, this is not. So small, like that does not matter, but it matters, So we ought to honor the Lord, guys, with everything that we have.
Work from home, work. Even when you're working from home.
Work from home,
which
work.
is what I struggle with.
Work from home, work. Don't clean your house like some of us.
Yes.
Like some people running your errands. That time is you owe it unto the Lord. Faithfulness, bathandekayo. I hope you are called out. You are convicted as we are in this video, because I don't know how it's a color like this. if you're working from home, you ought to honor and glorify the Lord.
Yeah.
Sometimes, one thing I used to do when my friend was here before she got married, I would go work at her house because she was also working, or she would come work at my place, and then we compelled to be productive in that space, you know, because she's my indirectly accountability partner, and I'm the same thing to her as well. So if you can go work in a place where you know you're gonna be conducive, but working from home doesn't equal to sloth. It's not your cleaning day. It's not your catch-up days with your girls. It's not your catch-up day with your boys. Not finishing that assignment is for working unto the Lord. You know, yeah, man. And we praise the Lord for such benefits, advantages that we have working from home. You know, not having to drive to the office, eating whatever you want to eat, whatever time, wearing a PJ while you're still on your laptop. But as well as that is a privilege. Let's not abuse it. Let's not abuse it. Ubawo, it's such. I mean, 10 years ago, you never thought that you'll be in this position where you can work from your home, comfort of your home, comfort of your bed sometime, where you're on your blanket and then you hear that cold teams, then you jump like, yo, let me. I mean, those are privileges. You laugh at them, but those are privileges. Let's not abuse them. Let's not abuse them. Let's do it unto the glory of God. May the good Lord be glorified in how we serve Him with the time that He granted us to be faithful at work. May we be faithful. Yeah, man. Yo. Yeah. Sounds very, very intense. Yeah. Sounds very intense. Yeah. It is like that. So now you're a senior in what you do. Do you still find corporate ills, and what type of corporate ills? Are they similar to what? Because I feel like when you were a junior, you felt like you didn't have a voice. But I feel like now you have a voice. And you can be able to express yourself. Isn't like this I'm uncomfortable with. We can even influence the decision now. But I'm sure there are still corporate ills that you're experiencing. And what are those, and how are they different from ones that you experienced while you were a junior?
Yeah, I feel like as a senior, it's nice because now you're comfortable.
You're the girl.
Yes, you're the girl. Even if there's issues, even with the salaries thing we mentioned, now you can speak up. I think the thing I think we experience in just my field of work is just the toxicity of the non-work balance thing. Being expected to work extreme hours. And I think for me, something I've also experienced, I don't know if it was a corporate ill, but it was a thing of, I'm a mother, guys, and you're working in a team that doesn't have mothers or fathers, and they expect you to be working 7 to 7. And I'm like, at this rate, I'm not going to get married, it's like, yeah. So it's those kind of challenges where you are like, I need to be upfront even about those boundaries, guys. My hours, I can't be working 7 to 7. I have a child. That pressure of overworking so that you work yourself up because now you are a senior. I think it's just those things that I'm experiencing. But the rest, I feel like the rest I'll make peace with. I'm just like, guys.
Thank you for raising the mother issue. Do you feel like you're not being seen, you're not being heard, you're not being considerate? Like there's no consideration for you? Do you feel like you're not being included?
Yeah, I feel like, people can be like, we're thinking of having a team building Friday at 7, and it's like, we expect you to be there. I'm like, but Njan, I'm a whole mother, guys.
But okay. Is this 7 p.m. and
7 p.m. And usually these things will end late vibes.
Do you think when they plan them because they want to spite those that have families and all of that? What do you think they're thinking behind them planning them? Because it's more like you find that they're being not considerate when they plan those things. Let's say in a perfect world, how would you suggest that it be planned in a way that consider that you're a mom?
Okay, I would say first of all, let's have it maybe 2 weeks before it happens. Let's not make abrupt plans.
Okay.
Right. Let's plan it maybe 2 weeks before, so that maybe I can be like, okay, let me organize a babysitter.
Okay.
If it's possible, let's do 5. We work from 8 to 12 past 4 almost. Let's do 5.
But are you not being realistic on this one, viewers? Because
why could we do 5? Guys?
No, you're not being realistic in the sense that even though you 8 to 12 past 4, but is it always like that in reality? No.
Yeah, guys. But on the Friday, we always finish 4:30, guys. People
You
are like,
guys-
it's Friday. Yes,
Okay.
it's Friday. We are logging out.
Okay.
It's that vibe of Friday. So let's do it at 5, you know. Because it's not just the fact that I'm a mother. Also, I am not driving. I can't be traveling, got Uber at late night.
But
It's
now
not
how,
safe.
but how are you not making your problems your employer's problem?
What do you mean?
So now must they advise you when you should buy a car and which car to buy?
No,
or they must
they don't
advise you
need
with the
to-
mode of transport that you can use.
They don't need to buy me a car, but they must be considerate of the fact that there are people who are using public transport. I can't be living at 10, guys.
But-
Those are Uber rich and E1. That's
Yes,
not safe.
but when they employ you and you sign that contract,
Yeah.
they employ someone that said, I will be able to come to work.
To the office again, not social vibes.
A holistic, healthy organization
Yeah.
includes socials as well.
Especially on 10.
They can be
That's
1
not part
a.m.
of my
sometimes.
contract. That's not my contract.
But my point is that a wholesome, well-functioning organization
Yes.
includes
Yeah.
socials, includes hiring people that does not have transport or taxi
And
or
it's
like private
fine.
cars, sorry,
Yes.
that are gonna use public modes of transport.
Yes, to get to work, right?
Yes.
Yes, I get that part.
Including
getting to
socials
work.
as well.
Socials are not part of my job description, guys.
But are socials used for networking?
Yes, I can network at work as well. Why do
But-
I have to network at night? That also affects my safety. Why must I affect my safety in the name of networking?
No, I see the safety element.
Yes.
It can be the matter now of let's negotiate
Negotiate?
with your employers and like this is my current state and this is where I am. But I don't want you to sound it from an angle of let's change it completely because
No, I'm not saying let's change it completely. I'm just saying let's be considerate. Not everyone, guys, can leave at 10 a.m.
Fair point,
work.
fair
Yes,
point,
not
fair
everyone can leave at 10 a.m. And even if I do get a babysitter, I can't be expecting people to be with my child until that late.
unfortunately that's not your employer's problem. When they plan, they don't think
Yes.
about that.
And that's fine. That's why I have decided personally to have my own boundaries. If I'm
Okay.
going to a network thing,
Okay.
I'm leaving or 7 or I'm leaving or 8.
Okay.
You understand?
Fair point.
Yes, because that's not part of my contract. I will show face when I need to. Sometimes I won't even go to the functions because I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, I can't make it. I can't get a babysitter for this, or I'm just not comfortable with the setting.
Okay.
But I feel like sometimes those things are not considered. It's like, guys, let's go out, let's network. We're gonna leave at 10, and I'm just like,
Yeah, okay.
that's not gonna work.
You've got a point in that. As long we're clear with the fact that when the organization employs an employer that is expected and is deemed capable and fit
Yes.
to do these things,
Yes.
right? But now, obviously, going to be a case-by-case situation
Yes.
where other people have certain needs and expectation and wants for their customized issues. For that reason, we cry out for consideration in that. I agree. But let's be clear that when you are employed, you're employed and the employer employs someone that will and can do these things,
Yes.
and who came across as one who is fit to be able to do these things. And let's try not to burden the employer with our personal problems as well. Hence the human element comes in, is like, let's negotiate. If you pay on 10, I'm like, can I leave at 7, guys?
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's interesting coming from a young mom.
Yeah.
Interesting coming from a single person as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably coming as aggressive because I don't have a child, don't have a family. So I'm like,
You can't relate.
I can't relate, and I'm here defending my employers. Yeah, I guess it's such a huge conversation to be had because and you know, the first person to raise the fact that I'm a mom first before I am an employee. You know, so I'm like, maybe it's because I can't relate, but guys, we should be careful not to make our problems employers' problems.
I agree.
Because this pays our bread, this pays our bills, this pays all of that. It's more like we want the spectrum to be like this or to be a bit skewed. Let's also be fair. So let's negotiate if 10 is not the time.
And I feel like sometimes you even need to negotiate before you get employed, because I think that
Fair
was
point,
my
point.
issue in my previous job. You know, those boundaries were not set. But on where I work now, when they were interviewing me, I was like, I'm looking for a place that's going to allow me to be present at home. So if I can't make a function, I don't want it to be an issue of, okay, now she's not, she doesn't want to network, she's not gonna get, promoted. I want work to be, flexible, because being a mom for me is an important thing. And luckily they were like, no, and luckily the lady who was interviewing me was like, I'm a mom too. And I can tell you from experience, I try and make some functions, some I can't. When my kids are sick, I work from home. That flexibility for me was important. So also discuss it before you are hired, so that you don't call it a corporate ill kind. And now it wasn't clear in the beginning, so that no one is going to be like, we were at the function, why are we not seeing you? No, guys, we spoke about this, and yeah.
Okay. Few things. Please, Bakashi, please try and organize these things prior, so that the moms people that have other responsibilities can also try and plan better. Don't do things like short notice and all of that, because it inconveniences them one way or the other. Okay, that's encouraging. For young moms, if you're a young mom and you're looking for a job, please bring this in an interview room.
Yes.
You're a young mom and this might be the reason. Also, don't try and make your problems employer's problem. The human element must come in. Let's negotiate, let's have conversations to try and accommodate each other and be taken good care of in that particular aspect. I think we're good. Anything else you'd like to say?
I think we covered it. I think, oh yes, I have a question actually.
Okay.
About I think it's something I discussed with someone, that what would you say to someone who's working in a toxic environment? Like, what should they do?
Your tricky question in the sense that context would help quite a lot.
Yeah.
As in, like, what is the root of
toxicity?
The toxicity. Why is it a toxic environment? What is happening? Do you have a glimpse of?
Let's say, for instance, they underpaid. Like, they do the manager's work and the manager is getting all the salary, and when you are underpaid, and it's something that you feel like it's been going on for years and it can be resolved. What must happen?
Primarily, pray about it. Bring it before the Lord, for the Lord to help your heart, right? Because sometimes you see an ill treatment, and when you communicate, you're not making sense. You're communicating emotions only. Then I'm like, wait, what are you saying? You call the meeting and you're not making sense because you're just on your emotions. Pray that the Lord gives you wisdom to be able to articulate well and to process even the money thing. And then when you feel like you're ready, find out at work what are the proper channels to exhaust or to use when one has a similar problem. Just act like it's an anonymous situation. Don't immediately say I'm the one. Just find out what measures are there to be exhausted to solve that problem, right? And then you're gonna get advice. And then first step would be having the conversation with the person and be like, I've been doing this and that, and I feel like this doesn't speak to the salary that I'm earning. Can we talk about an increase or a raise? One thing I've experienced is that we're not easy on talking about increases on raise, but we're easy on talking about the fact that I'm underpaid. But have you gone to the person who has the power to influence the increase or raise?
That's true.
Have you done that? We hardly do that, but I'm like, yo, she's on this bracket and I'm here. But I'm like, have you gone to the person who has the power to do that? Maybe that's not even top of their head. They have a lot of things happening, but when you think no, they have a lot of things happening. Go to them and have the conversation. I mean, the Lord is there. He's going to help you. Primarily, you prayed about it. You've seek for wisdom. You're doing the right thing. And then we pray and hope for the best in that.
That's true. I feel like so you could.
Yeah, so you go tell that to the right people. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was venting. And I was listening to her, and I was like, no, my friend, wrong person. And she was like, wrong person? Wrong person. Because I'm like, whatever you're saying is very correct. 100% agree with it. But I'm like, wrong person. I'm not the person to tell these things. Have you spoken to her about it?
Person.
I mean, she just knew. I was like, you know what, I agree with everything you say. You have valid points, but you know what?
Wrong person.
And she was like, wrong person. She knew that I was going to say that. Wrong person. No, go to the actual person and have the conversation, because you're wasting so much energy. These valid good points you're raising and the emotions, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that I made you to feel like this. You're just a frustrated friend. It's good to vent, but let's not vent to an angle where it's more like we want to gossip. Let's vent for clarity and sobriety and wisdom and guidance and go to the person. You know, guys, one thing about me, I'm that person who confront, but even though I do it, if in like before the atatazela, I'm like weird, like the but eventually I'll go, because I'm like, no. Sometimes I'll say it in one, but my words are not adding up, but you will get the point. So it's not easy. If you can be bold, but it's not easy, but do it, and it feels so good after you've done it. Because for the large part, for me, it's usually just a misunderstanding. It's like, that's not what I meant. It's not what I meant. This is what I meant when I've said this. This is the reason why I've done that. I read my things and I create a whole scenario. But if you go to you guys and be like, Sissy, I found this to be very unkind when you did this and that. She'll be like, oh, sorry, it was not even about you. It was this and that. So let's pray about it. Ask the Lord to help us to be able to go to the right person.
I like that.
The right person.
Because I think my instinct has always been, hey guys, I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Uzoliva
Uzoliva
uzoba ngumlivero.
And the person I was talking with was like, also, leaving is not always easy, because this is South Africa, guys. It's not easy to get jobs, I think because in the IT space as well, I think sometimes you respond in an ignorant way. Just apply, and you forget to write. It's not so easy to get. I also wish I had known that.
Yeah.
I also wish I had known that. Speak to the right people.
The right person. Yeah, I hope you guys found this to be very, very helpful. Guys, if you guys are a musician, she is gifted by the Lord with a beautiful voice, like the chords according. The vocal cords are cordorizing. We can't just let her go like that. Mama, do you have a song you would like to do for us? Any
now?
Yeah, Liberty. Any, you're free to choose.
Oh, Freedom.
Hey. Freedom is coming.
I thought you're giving me the word liberty. I'm like, okay, well, that's too tough.
Liberty.
Okay, I'll sing. Okay.
Venek,
of course. Angihambe nawe Jesu kuzozo indlela zami, izwi lakho mandilive sonke isikhathi Nkosi. Ungesabi moya wami, yona yongiqhubi Nkosi yami, ngoyanayo ingaphiki mighty gilandele. I'm just thinking about how the song is so relatable, corporate space. Sabi moya wami.
Ow.
You're handicapped because the Lord is with us. That's why I forgot the lyrics. So relatable.
Yeah, man. May the good Lord be glorified. I'm so glad that we're having the conversation closer to the end of the year. And fatigue is there, but next year let's come back strong, aggressive, to serve and honor the Lord, man. Let's do it the Jesus way. Because that's the only way, anyways. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us what have been your corporate L's. Have you been finding this very helpful or not? Please comment in the comment section. We love you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye. Before we give a formal bye-bye, she is on the socials. Give us your handle. I know you're a big Facebook person. Yes. Give us your handle for Facebook.
Vuyokazi Lona
Voi. That's her on Facebook. Follow her, like, add, subscribe. Oh, you don't subscribe, but just follow her, like, and comment on her post. We love you so much, guys. Truly appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.